There was a college student one time who was taking an exam just before the Christmas break. He did not study and therefore did not know the answers to any of the questions, so he wrote on the paper, "Only God knows the answer to these questions. Merry Christmas." The professor graded the paper and wrote this on the paper: "God gets 100, you get a 0. Happy New Year." You see, questions along with the right answers are very important in our lives. Now, Jesus was in Jerusalem in the area of the temple by the pool of Bethsaida. And as he was going, he saw a man who had been an invalid for some 38 years. And seeing the man, he asked him a seemingly silly question. At least it seems silly to us. He asked the man, "Do you want to be healed?" Now, why would he ask the man such a seemingly obvious question? The man's answer should have seemed obvious to us, yes, but that's not what he says. We would think, of course, the man would want to be healed. Yet Jesus would not have asked a question if it was not a pertinent question. Let us consider the facts. The man had been an invalid for some 38 years, and Jesus knew the man had been lying there for a long time. And to understand this better, we need to understand the significance of the water in the pool of Bethsaida. It was thought that when the water was stirred, that the first person to enter the pool would be healed from his infirmity. The man had been there a long time, since he had been an invalid for some 38 years. When Jesus asked the man, "Do you want to be healed?" the man's answer, surprisingly, was not yes. He answered this way: "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I'm going, another steps down before me." It seems that the man's answer was something in that answer, something was amiss. No one in 38 years had offered to help the man. In such a long time, he could not get into the water. The question Jesus asked was really to get at the heart, to get at the will of the man. What did the man truly want? You see, when one is sick spiritually, emotionally, or physically, the question is the same. Do these folks truly want to be healed? In the area of physical arena, it seems that very few would say they do not want to be physically healed. Yet I know that there are some who would sooner be on the dole than to go through the pain of physical therapy or treatments of some sort in order to get better. They just rather stay in the condition and collect the money. However, in the spiritual and emotional level, there are many who would fit into the category where the will needs to be questioned. Many may be in denial that they have a problem, and others may know that they do, but do not want to be healed. And I've discovered this also, I have discovered this in the area of spiritual healing, but also in the area of emotional healing, where many are in denial. They may reject the very idea that there might be an issue in their lives, while their behavior patterns reveal coping mechanisms that are evidences of emotional wounds from the past. In other cases, they may realize that there is an issue, but just flat refuse to deal with it in seeking emotional healing for a variety of reasons, but it's usually an issue of pride. In both of these cases, actually, pride becomes the obstacle to emotional healing. And thus, in the area of emotional healing, Jesus' question is absolutely pertinent. Does the afflicted one truly want to be healed? The question that we should all ask ourselves, are there emotional issues in our lives? Or have we just buried them and covered them up? And our behaviors today are really a reflection of what happened many, many years ago in our lives due to wounds inflicted by others.